Welcome into this edition of Locked On 76ers. Today we're going to be getting into VJ Edgecombe's stock for the Summer League as well as others on the Sixers Summer League roster because they know how to start out the Summer League, Keith. VJ Edgecombe, Ace Bailey, round one. We'll get into all that and more on this edition of Locked On 76ers.
You are Locked On 76ers, your daily Philadelphia 76ers podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And we do thank you for making Locked On 76ers your first listen every day. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. This particular episode brought to you by the Gametime app. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Keith, we spoke a lot yesterday about, or 2 days ago rather, about VJ Edgecombe and what he could do for his own stock when it comes to the Sixers Summer League. When you talked to him, he had told you about working on his jump shot. He had talked about working on his ball handling ability, and he had talked about running point. And we've referenced this game. You started it. You hit the first domino. That game against Houston last year in the NCAA, during the NCAA season, he ran point in the early goings of the game. Quick, three quick turnovers. It didn't go great. How much can he get better at just that aspect of his game during Summer League?
Man, it's going to be crazy because I feel like, well, here's the thing. The good thing about the Summer League aspect is that the competition level is not going to be as good as what you're going to see, even in the preseason or the regular one. So, he may not make as many mistakes. I think for him is that, recognize from early on what teams are doing and try to, get the ball to a spot, to a player, and then go somewhere and post up or repost somewhere or do whatever. Like, just go to a spot, and then hopefully somebody can give you the ball and then you can attack the basket. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to see him, out there, in a half-court set, walking the ball up, trying to get people in situations. But if I'm him and if I'm the Sixers, if the best thing for me to do is just push tempo with him in the ball. Like, baby, like have somebody get the pass and then find him, but have him going like 100 miles an hour, going fast. Remember how they used to do it with Ben Simmons in Summer League? It was crazy. TJ McConnell would receive the inbounds pass, and then Ben Simmons would have like a running start, and he would give him the ball, and then that's how they would get into their offense. So maybe you don't have to do it I'll be that obvious with it. But I think pushing tempo, getting him in space because he's fast and quick, and then maybe he can attack the rim or he can find teammates. I think that might be the best bet for them with him running point.
Yeah, here's my expectation for VJ Edgecombe. Struggling in Summer League as a facilitator. And look, regardless, I know it's Summer League. I know the talent isn't great, but this is still the professional ranks. You're going to be playing from guys that is not unfamiliar to him, play against guys from all over the world, not just the country, not just the NCAA, playing against guys all over the world. I think you're still going to see that aggression for him. I think you can guarantee to see a highlight reel dunk or two from him, but I already know he could do that. I'd rather watch him have turnovers. I'd rather watch him struggle a little bit because he's going to be playing essentially out of position. So I hate to use this word, but when it comes to the regular season, I have no patience for the 76ers. When it comes to glorified scrimmages that is Summer League, I can have some patience with the Sixers. Do you think that he's just going to play the point guard spot and that's that? Or do you think they're going to move him around? Is this going to kind of be the, a little bit, not baptism by fire like we talked about before, but baptism by, a little flame, not necessarily a great conflagration or anything, but baptism by, all right, we're going to throw you in there, make your mistakes. This is the forum to make those mistakes.
I think they're going to move him around a little bit. You know what I mean? I think that they're going to have a couple different guys handling the ball. I'm not saying he's going to be a point guard, but I'm pretty sure we'll see Justin Edwards handling the ball, Jalen Hood, Shafino handling the ball. Because if we remember, there was times last year when the team was tanking, that Hood Shafino was handling the ball, right? So I think that those are all guys that we'll see with the ball. Now, Justin Edwards is not going to be from a point guard perspective, but it's kind of like, the forward, he'll give him the ball. Let's see how he operates, see what he does in regards to finding teammates. So now, I think that he'll be the point guard. He'll start off on it, but I don't expect him to stay that way throughout the game.
What's the progression you see here? I know it's limited. TJ DeLeo, by the way, going to be coaching the summer league, so I actually like that Temple guy. It's going to be interesting with all that. But what do you think is the full progression of VJ Edgecombe? Is this just, like I said, make your mistakes now, get them out of the way, if you will, learn by experience?
Yeah, I think, right now you got to do that. I think we talked about this before, but, I remember looking at Jared McCain and how he struggled mightily but he put in the work. One thing that we have to realize is that a lot of these guys, this is going to be their first 5-on-5 game, since they played in college, because they didn't want to get messed up during the draft process, right? But at that, he knows what his weaknesses is. So this is where, you struggle, and then all of a sudden, the Sixers, TJ DeLeo, and the rest of their player development coaches, under Rico Hines, are going to get him in a position to become a better person. Like, this is where, it's like you taking the PSATs. Hey, well, this is what your score was. This was your practice test. Now we're going to try to bring it up. You didn't have to bring it up, but, some people did. So, I'm talking about you, Marc. So some people did. So it's one of those things where you just have to, work on it so you can get that score that you want to get into Harvard.
Oh, I went to Harvard the Harvard of North Broad Street, known as Temple University. That's where my SAT score got me, as well as this charming personality, of course, Steve. All right, when it comes to VJ Edgecombe, there's other players that obviously can help their draft stock in this upcoming summer league. I want to be able to get into those players, but one last thing on VJ Edgecombe. When you watched him at Baylor, you've talked about ball handling needing to improve. When you talk about one thing you want to see from him in summer league to kind of show that he's starting to take the next step, maybe not fully taking the step, but started to take the next step, what do you need to see from him to say, okay, the Sixers are going to get somebody better than I thought at that number 3 pick when they selected VJ Edgecombe?
You know what? To me, more so than the ball handling, like the ball handling thing, because I do not expect to see him running point when the regular season comes, right? I just don't. But to me, is what I would like to see is him be consistent with the outside shot, right? Now, again, when you're at practice, you go to practice and you see summer league practice, he's draining shots. Well, they all do. Like, people need to realize these guys are good enough that when you put a pro in the gym and no one's guarding him, he's going to kill that shot in that type of setting is what happens in the game. So to me, yes, you would like to see a little bit more better ball handling, but at the same time, to me, for him to be on the floor and be impactful, he's going to have to be able to knock down a shot, because now his dribbling is not to come, but he's so quick and athletic that teams are going to be scared that he blows by him. So there's going to be certain teams who are going to lag off of him, right? And they're going to force him to shoot the ball. So to me, that's what I want to see right now. Like, I realize he's 19. I realize that he has several years of growing to do. And, when you think of that, it's kind of like, work on the shooting first and everything else will come.
Yeah, it's one of those things, and look, he's not Ben Simmons size, but it's one of those things where I want him coming out of summer league to at least have other NBA teams thinking, we got to respect his shot. Just, you're not going to take that huge leap forward, obviously, in summer league, but just have it on the other team's radar so that they can't just lag off of you. And if they do come up and D you up, you can beat him off the dribble, because that's something he can certainly do with his athleticism. His dribble is good enough. His handle is good enough to do that. I don't really trust him in a full court press situation if he's running point. Not a fan of that. But just make the opposition respect your outside shooting. At Baylor, you want to talk about shot selection. You want to talk about consistency of that shot. That's something that I want to see him take that next step forward as his NBA career gets underway. But it all starts Saturday night when he faces Ace Bailey and the Utah Jazz Summer League out there in Utah. Just give me hope that he can take those steps forward in the early goings of his NBA career to make you think, okay, maybe they got a little bit more of the offensive game than they were anticipating, and even Sixers fans were anticipating. I was anticipating when the Sixers took him at number 3 overall in this past draft. So we'll get into that. Now, not just VJ Edgecombe, I also want to get into other stocks when it comes to this Summer League roster. We'll go over it in a second. When we return, this is Locked On 76ers on the Locked On 76ers YouTube channel. Let me tell you about the Gametime app. How about this? Download the Gametime app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA, and get $20 off your first purchase on the Gametime app. How great is it to be at the game? How great is it to go to a concert or even a comedy show? Gametime app has you covered for that. If you're tired of those endless searches around the internet for the perfect tickets, well, Gametime app has you covered. Gametime makes concert tickets faster and easier to acquire. Prices actually drop the closer you get to showtime. You can save up to 60% off with their killer last-minute ticket deals. So do what I do. Download the Gametime app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA, and take the guesswork out of buying tickets. As you can also view your seat before you purchase the ticket. Again, take the guesswork out of buying tickets. So download the app, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, use promo code LOCKEDONNBA. That's LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Keith, Summer League roster set. I saw you tweet this out the other day, posted on X. Seeing a lot of names up here that we'll recognize. Justin Edwards, Adem Bona playing in the Summer League. VJ Edgecombe, obviously. Alex Reese, who, Keith, no offense to him, in the later stages of the season when I saw him out there, I thought he was a contest winner that won a contest to play for the 76ers for a week. Good for Alex Reese that he's on here. Janai Broome, obviously another rookie, second-round pick. Then the names kind of drop off a little bit. There's Hood Schifino, who we recognize. There's one name on here that I really like, and I'll get to him in a second. But you look at this roster right now, who do you think can help their stock the most, Keith, in this Summer League run?
You know, I think the guy whose stock could help, well, there's two guys, Hood Schifino, but there's another guy, who he's the Sixers. He's the Sixers two-way player, right? And the crazy thing about him is his mother is a legend. He's also related to James Harden. Yeah. So his name is Hunter Sallis. He's a kid who's from Omaha, Nebraska. He played at Wake Forest. He started out at Gonzaga. And the Sixers signed him a couple of days ago to a two-way contract. You know, he's a 6'5" shooting guard. He averaged 18 points last year at Wake. The year before that, he shot the ball extremely well. He struggled shooting the ball last season. But his mom was a high school legend, a parade All-American, the whole nine. She was affiliated with USA basketball. She got invited to the mini camp and the whole nine. So, but here's the thing. I just want to see how this guy can play. Now, again, he's on a two-way, but I feel like if he plays well, his stock is going to rise.
Is he a guard or a shooting guard? What is
the problem, man? Guard? He's a guard. That's the problem. He's a 6'5" shooting guard. And on a team where they have a lot of guards, a lot. And he's extremely athletic. If you look at him on TV, there's one, not TV, but there's one photo of him on the internet of him dunking on a kid. And it's crazy because he's literally it's kind of like the guy is right here. This is the guy right here standing. And as he's dunking, he's on top of him like this. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Kneecaps to forehead.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was it was bad. It was
what was worse? What was worse for the person being dunked on? Was it Justin Edwards being worse, or this kid Sallis was dunking on?
That dude was it was worse.
Took his soul
because he was way old. It was kind of he literally was leaping over the dude. And the guy, he could have got a charge, but he didn't. but he was literally leaping over, like lunging over top of him, like boom, like it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
For the people just listening on the podcast, not watching on YouTube, Keith just fully jumped over his dining room table just to illustrate what was happening.
Broke my leg.
Come down easy, bud. Come down easy. All right, so that's a great one. I gotta give credit to this guy because I didn't know he was on the roster until I saw this post from you. This is amazing. Andrew Funk. He is an Archbishop Wood grad. I went to Archbishop Wood in Warminster. Shout out to them. I saw Andrew Funk win a Catholic League title against Newman Goretti at the Palestra. And my old coach was still an assistant on the team. And he invited me to stand behind with the team, basically, for Archbishop Wood, behind the bench there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching them play, and everyone was talking about Colin Gillespie from Archbishop Wood. Our Villanova star, obviously in the NBA now. Everyone's talking about him. And I'm watching him, and I'm impressed. He's really good basketball player, understatement of the year, but I'm watching him. But my eyes kept gravitating to this tall, lanky sophomore, I think he was at the time. I had no idea who he was. And Wood won the game and Colin Gillespie really took over in the second half. But the guy that was keeping them in this game in the first half was this tall, lanky kid. And I'm like, damn, this kid's pretty good. This kid might have a future, Why aren't more people talking about whoever this kid is? So I look up his name, and it's Andrew Funk. And sure enough, I'm watching Penn State some years later, and I'm like, damn, that guy looks familiar. Who's that? And I'm like, that's him. That's the kid. So he was a sixth man of the year. I think Inquirer actually named him sixth man of the year in the Catholic League. Won that championship, went on to have a damn good high school career. Went and was at Bucknell, then went to Penn State. He's banged around the G League a little bit, and now he's getting an opportunity with the hometown 76ers. He's 25 years old. He's 6'5". I couldn't be more excited to see another Archbishop Wood guy out there. Have you learned anything extra about Andrew Funk and what he could bring to the table here during Summer League?
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I hope. Well, he'll probably. I mean, you look at him. You're right. He's a guy who's been bounced around the G League. He was undrafted, but at the same time, he's a quality, player. The thing about him is I'm wishing him the best of luck. Mm. But unfortunately, he's playing a guard on a team where you got Hood Schifino.
Yeah.
You have Sallis that we just talked about. You have Edgecombe. So it's not going to be a lot of. I mean, he could come in and show what he can do, but it's not going to be a lot of opportunities for him, unfortunately. I mean, it could be, but at the same time, you're going to want these guys to play the bulk of the minutes so you can determine if they're going to come back or not.
Selfishly, I just get to watch an Archbishop Wood Catholic League guy put on something close to a 76ers jersey. So even if it's for Summer League, I'll enjoy that.
Nothing wrong with that. I mean,
nothing wrong with
that. Nothing wrong with that. Repping.
I absolutely love it.
Here's the good thing, though. If he has pretty good games, the good thing about him is what they say, put it on tape, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? The Sixers may say, you know what, we want you to be as on the Blue Coats. They may say that. He's out there with them. But also there's going to be some other teams that's watching him play and saying, this guy can play. We've been monitoring him for a couple of years. He can play. Are you interested in taking a two-way with this team? Or are you interested in basically getting a regular roster spot, battling for one? So it's a win-win situation for him.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And look, I love my high school and all that, but I'd be happy if there's a Blue Coats offer in here for him. So that's what I think is more realistic than anything. So I'm not getting too carried away. I just want to point that out. All right. When we come back, actually one more question for you. When it comes to Janai Broome and Summer League, the knock on him has been slow but strong. What do you think he could show people? The Sixers second round pick, big man Janai Broome. What do you think he could show people during Summer League?
I'm interested in him showing people that he can be a forward. The crazy part about it is, everybody talks about him being a center. Well, he started at the power forward position last year at Auburn and had his best year of his career, right? So, I think that what he's going to have to show people is that he's more athletic than what they think. and that he can play. We all know he's an elite, a pretty good rim protector. But we got to see if he can, what his lateral movement is going to be. But to me, I'm extremely excited to see him at the 4, right? I mean, I really want to see him starting at the 4 alongside a Dembona and seeing how that works out, right? I want to see that, and I would like to see him grabbing rebounds, making shots mid-range. Yesterday at practice, they had him and the Dembona shooting corner threes. I don't want to see that. I do not want to see that from Bona or him. I just don't want to see that. But aside from that, I want to see what he can do at the 4.
Were they just playing pig? Were they just playing horse? Or was this a team activity?
Dude. It was like, at the end, it's funny. Like, the NBA is all about analytics, right?
Right.
So afterwards, you see these guys, they do these shooting drills, but they're basically just everybody shooting threes, different variations of drills. But at the end of the day, it's all about working on your threes. So they had both of them there hitting corner threes. And it was like a couple times you would you see the ball go, and it's like a real long rebound, and somebody running to retrieve the ball, and you're like, are they really doing this?
Why? Hey, modern NBA, Keith. No positions. Everybody shoots threes. Modern NBA. All right. When we come back, it's the first round. It's the first round. Now this isn't going to happen often because it's Utah and Philadelphia. But round 1, Ace Bailey versus VJ Edgecombe. Talk about that when we return. This is Locked On 76ers. They really know how to stack the TV schedule, Keith, when it comes to the Summer League matchups here. And right out of the gate, Philadelphia 76ers take on the Utah Jazz Summer League squads. And Ace Bailey squares up against VJ Edgecombe. I am declaring still I'm in the Ace Bailey camp over the VJ Edgecombe camp. Unfortunately, being in Philadelphia, I got to hope that somehow Daryl Morey made the right pick here, and VJ Edgecombe's going to have the far better career than Ace Bailey is going to have. That's what we all have to kind of hope for now. I'm not betting on it. All the reports out there, Keith, were that he was a bad seed, Ace Bailey a bad seed. All this is bad stuff. This is going to go south quick for whatever team drafts him. That's not the Washington Wizards, for instance. And Danny Ainge did what Danny Ainge does best, which is not give one damn about anybody else's thoughts or feelings, and he just drafted him. There was talk about how he wasn't going to show up. Well, he showed up, and now they're going to be now he's going to be taking on Ace Bailey in round 1. What are you looking at in this particular matchup?
Man, I'm looking at the circus. That's what I'm trying to look at. Or not even the circus, but here's the deal, man. Like, there's something else that you didn't bring up, and I'll tell you what I'm looking at. Like, to me, ESPN is funny because, and I get it. The first game of that night is going to be on ESPNU. That game is going to be on ESPN. So everyone's going to be there for that, right? And I remember when I went there in the past, it was on like local channels. People had to go, and do stuff. So that ESPN is covering it. So the thing that stands out is everyone was talking about how he did not want to show up and he didn't want to go there. He was a couple of days late. Well, Omar Cooper is his agent. He's the guy that didn't want him to go to certain teams. Well, Omar Cooper Jr. is going to be a guest coach for the Summer League. So it's going to be crazy inside the building because everyone's going to be looking at them. They're going to have probably some camera views. Everyone's going to bring up these stories. And what the Utah Jazz and Omar's people are going to say are like, look, we're connected. We're one. This is where we want to be, this and that. So I commend Danny Ainge for doing this because it's crazy. But it's like, and they even got practice videos of photos of Omar Cooper Jr., who played last year at McNeese State, like working Ace Bailey out. It's crazy, dude. It's just crazy. But what I want to see is how they go at each other. And I'm pretty sure VJ has an edge. And I think, they're not going to say it. They're all cool, they're cool friends. But I'm pretty sure he wants to put this stuff to rest. Now, again, I get it. I get it. The dude is a summer league game. No one cares about it. But at the same time, it's one of those things where you want people to know that the 76ers made the right choice. And I expect them to come out with a vengeance. It's kind of sort of like when Donovan Mitchell used to go up against Ben Simmons. He used to always bring it because he wanted people to think, I'm the true rookie of the year. And I think that I expect Edgecombe to come out with some fire, letting people know, like, yo, people Philly, I'm the guy. Like, stop talking about Ace. Although they will, but I'm the guy. Stop it.
Oh, I look, one of the reasons I really like VJ Edgecombe is he's supposed to have that edge. He's supposed to be, more mature and all that stuff. Nothing would make me happier than to see him go out there and do something that embarrasses Ace Bailey. Like if he gets him one-on-one, if he takes him off the dribble, steals the ball from him, whatever it might, picks his pocket, whatever. I would love to see that. I would love, like, what I want to see as someone who hey, look, if VJ Edgecombe is the better player than Ace Bailey, then that means a lot more Philadelphians are happy. Look, you're not going to determine that in a summer league game, but something you could determine is how much of that snarl VJ Edgecombe really does have, because he's the guy that's supposed to have the edge. Ace Bailey is supposed to be like, everything's handed to me. He's supposed to be that type of guy. Yeah, well, no better way to prove that you got that edge than you playing like it's Game 7 of the NBA Finals in a summer league game, VJ Edgecombe. No better way to prove that than taking this opportunity, again, round one between these two players that are going to be compared for the rest of their careers that are just only starting here. No better way to show you got that snarl in you, that dog in you, Keith, as you have said, than to do it in a summer league game. Like, look, totally different. Two of the greatest players ever. But one of the things I always think about when people talk about Kobe versus LeBron, not Jordan versus LeBron, but Kobe versus LeBron, I think it was that last All-Star game they played against each other. Kobe wanted all the smoke. Like, it was an all-star game, Keith, and Kobe was Game 7 mentality when he was D'ing up Kobe Bryant, or when he was D'ing up LeBron James. Again, no way, shape, or form comparing Ace Bailey and VJ Edgecombe to them, but in the games that aren't supposed to matter, the guys that really want it do show they really want it. And I would love for VJ Edgecombe to show that he really wanted to have the upper hand in their first meeting when he faces Ace Bailey.
Yeah. I mean, he seems like a fiery guy. He really does. I mean, he does. And not in a bad way, but he just seems, but me watching, especially after he dunked on Justin Edwards, other plays that he made against people, that he's a trash talker. He gets in your face, and I like seeing that.
Fair enough.
I really do. I like seeing that.
All right, we got the holiday weekend, Keith. Holiday, actually. How are you celebrating the 4th?
Man, with the fam, you know how that one is. Gonna make a quick trip and just celebrate it with them and have a good one. What about you?
Very nice. Dogs, burgers on the grill, a little pool party with the family. Got some family in town. Going to be enjoying every ounce of it. I'm actually not doing Phillies postcast tonight.
Ooh.
So I'm taking tonight off to enjoy with the family. How about that, huh?
That's always good, right?
That never happens.
Good. Yeah, it's always good. Your wife will love that.
Oh, yes, you will. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Keith Pompey, make sure you guys are following across all social media platforms, reading this stuff on Inquirer.com. We're going to try to, at least I know I'm going to try to do at least a short after the Sixers take on Utah in the first summer league game. Try to get you an instant reaction to that. I know we'll be dissecting everything come Monday morning. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend, everybody. Keith Pompey, Marc Barzetta, like and subscribe, Locked On 76ers. We'll catch you guys later. Bye.